porn is a direct collaboration with the devil himself by Jordan Peterson. This is one of the biggest topics that I talk about in this podcast, simply because from experience, it is, as the quote says, and it is just so easily available, so prevalent, it's everywhere, that I think it always will need more awareness. But you said it takes the soul out of a man. Why?
Well, first, Alfonso, I want to encourage you and sort of like fill your cup in saying that, like, it's so awesome that you're talking about that and that you actually are bringing awareness to that, because like we just mentioned, that's the first step, dude. Like we've all had this journey. I mean, and porn is so pervasive in today's society, especially in the modern world. It's like most people don't even begin to even understand that it's a problem until they're well addicted and they've already skewed so many things in their brain.
Yeah.
The question was, why do I think it takes the soul from a man? I think it takes the soul from a man because the most innate desire that we have as human beings, in my opinion, is to procreate. That is the most powerful desire that we have.
Right.
The overwhelming majority of our decisions that we make, subconsciously or consciously, are to be able to do that.
Okay.
And so when you, similar to what I just said in video games, when you watch porn, when you take it out of like the real world and the actual act of procreating, all the energy that would otherwise be used to do that in the real world gets dissipated. Because does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Yeah.
So like porn, I mean, you said it best. Porn is like, on the thing that I'm looking at right now, I have unlimited access, if I so choose, to probably, I don't know, millions, hundreds of millions of pornographic photos, video. I mean, literally billions, probably. And that's just wild to even think about. Think about it.
Yeah, it is.
And I think maybe it was Nick Sweeney who said this on my podcast.
Probably was.
Who said, if you took a monk from like a Chinese monastery that had been studying Zen Buddhism for his whole life and meditating, and put him in a phone for a year, or put him in a room with a phone for a year that had access to porn, he would probably watch porn. And I think he's spot on.
Yeah.
So I think that is why I think it literally takes away the energy that we're meant to utilize to live life with the end goal of procreating.
Yeah.
And
it
it
takes
just
your
gets
energy
thrown to the
away.
wayside.
Yeah, it takes your energy away and it completely takes over you. Completely. It rewires you completely. And that's why it's so difficult for kids to stick out of it.
Yeah, man.
Right?
And I'll full candor, like the first time I watched porn was when I was 7 years old.
Wow.
And I think about this all the time, because porn has been the vice in my life that it's never been drugs. I've never had a problem with drugs, never been alcohol, never had a problem with that. It's never really been social media. It's been porn. And I think that, I mean, literally when I was 7 years old, like the plasticity of our brains at 7 years old is just incomprehensible. We can't, like, it's literally, you're learning and rewiring yourself constantly. So I think about the impact that's had on me and the negative impact it's had on me for sure. And I'm like, dude, I was 7 years old. I didn't even know how to use a computer, and I somehow like figured out a way to watch porn on it. So you think about the pervasiveness of it in our society, and also it's almost encouraged.
Yeah. Fuck
the
elites, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the diabolic, the demonic, the lie of Satan. Like I think Satan wants that to be normalized. He's like, oh, porn, OnlyFans? Are you kidding me? Like, yeah, that's fine. That's great. Let's sponsor events. Let's get every single girl on social media posting borderline pornographic images so that we can get these guys to zap all of their energy and not be able to be sovereign and vital in their own way, so that they can follow what we tell them. And yeah, I hate porn. I adamantly hate it.
What a crazy and powerful topic, no?
I think it's one of the great threats to our nation. Like America is, I'm an American citizen, so America, but also just the modern world. I think it is literally the greatest threat.
It is. I do think so as well. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest points that I've talked about in the podcast which is it is truly one of the biggest threats to the minds of everyone on this planet who at
Once
least
again,
has
man,
access to it.
yeah. Well, once again, I mean, I encourage you to keep doing that, and I want to applaud you and
Thank you.
sort of
Yeah.
give you your light on that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think like 90 out of 100 times with the guests, this is a topic that appears. And I don't even have it planned. It just comes out because everyone has an experience with it, which is really sad, but it is. Yeah. So
Go ahead.
no, please go ahead.
I was just gonna say one more thing on it. The fact that like I saw some statistic a long time ago. It was like 95% of men admit to masturbating to porn at least once or something like that. And I would honestly,
that is crazy.
in the modern world, I would say it's probably even. I would say it's higher than that, frankly. Like off the top of my head, I know one person in my life that if I had to bet all the money in my account that he's never watched porn, I would
Really?
bet that he's never done that. And that guy's happily married as a young guy.
Yeah.
And he's an absolute savage. So I don't think that there's a.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a coincidence.